Hi, everyone. My name is Janine Yorio, and I'm the co-head of Republic Real Estate. Thank you so much for joining us today. I've been working in the real estate industry for over 20 years in lots of different capacities, from private equity to prop tech startups to hotel development. So you can imagine I've crossed paths with many interesting people with different stories and perspectives on real estate. Today, we're excited to have Victor Rosales join us, who's an experienced real estate developer in Mexico, and he'll offer some unique insights into this market. Victor Rosales is a real estate investment manager, entrepreneur, and sustainability advocate who is committed to boosting Mexico's economy through the development of housing, financing, and eco-technologies. He has 10 years of experience in sustainability projects in real estate in Mexico and Latin America. Since 2010, his company, Grupo Vailon, has developed and sold over 1,000 housing units. Victor's focus is on Mexico City and the Riviera Maya in Quintana Roo. We've allotted about 20 minutes for today's presentation with an additional 10 minutes for Q&A at the end. If you have questions, please submit them through the Q&A functionality on your Zoom interface. Look for the icon in the lower right-hand corner. We'll try our best to answer all of your questions. Before we jump in, our legal team has asked that I read this important disclaimer. This presentation is for educational and discussion purposes only. Nothing herein should be construed as investment, legal, tax, or accounting advice. Always do your own diligence and consult with your advisors. Investments on Republic are subject to total loss of principal. Now let's get started. Victor, over to you.
Hi, everyone. Before starting, I would like to thank Republic for giving me the opportunity to speak with you all. I would like to share
Victor, I think you're on mute.
No, I'm not. Can you hear me?
Okay, sorry.
Perfect. Okay, don't worry. Okay, basically, thank you very much for the introduction. I would like to share the presentation, and thanks for the space. I'm really happy to be here and share some of the knowledge I have from my 7 years of experience as a Mexican home developer. It's really, to me, be here an honor and talk about some of my biggest passions: real estate, investment, and of course, Mexico. I would like to start with some important facts about real estate in Mexico. For example, the middle and residential segment represents the 88% of mortgages in the Mexican financial system, and the market is growing 3% annually for the last 5 years. This is important because there is a huge opportunity in Mexico as a country, and specific in the Mexico City market and the Riviera Maya, of course. Let's talk about Mexico City. This is the city where I actually live. If any of you have ever been here, you know what I'm talking about. But whenever I talk about these facts to non-Mexicans who have never been here, people are pretty amazed. People don't actually believe and know how big Mexico City really is. We are a huge, huge city that is growing every day. The population is 20 million. We have a low unemployment rate of 4.2%. We generate in Mexico City the 17% of the GDP, and we capture the 64% of the FDI in Mexico City. And we are the third largest metro area in the zone of Latin America. What about Riviera Maya? This is where Cancun, Hotspots, Playa del Carmen, and my lovely Tulum are located. This is one of Mexico's most visited spots from foreigners, and I can blame them. Oh my God, it's so beautiful. The Mayan Riviera is a complete paradise, and I could talk about it all day. Let me tell you some important facts. The Mayan Riviera has the second highest population growth rate in the country. The Mayan Riviera includes important tourist destinations along its 150 kilometers, and the Cancun International Airport is the 4th busiest in Latin America and the 2nd in Mexico. It's busiest than, for example, Brazil as a country. This makes Cancun and the Mayan Riviera an easy access destination. According to ASUR, which is the Cancun's operator airport. It served 25.2 million passengers 2 years ago, and every year increased at least between 6 and 7%. Well, what about the economics? Almost half of Mexico GDP is generated by Mexico City alone. This means Mexico City metro area generates 46% of the combined GDPs of Mexico largest cities. And as you can see in this chart, in specific this graph, in 15 years we are looking to grow the double. We're looking to grow 100% compared to 2 years ago. Well, I wanted to get here because this is my favorite slide because summarizes how resilient Mexico's market is. As you can see in the graph, it doesn't matter that the unemployment rate falls down and the GDP doesn't grow. The prices have been growing yearly for the last 15 years. This means basically that the supply doesn't satisfy the demand, and the market is very solid. We can conclude that the Mexican market is very strong market supported by economics, demographic, and institutional business model. What is the importance of investing with local sponsors? Have you ever been recommended a Mexican restaurant outside of Mexico by a Mexican? Well, when this happens, you know it is the real deal. You bet the sauce in your tacos is going to be spicy. Well, it is the same with real estate investing. Who will know more about the country, dynamics, service providers than the locals? Locals have experience and a strong track record of investing. Well, I would like to move forward to the question. I hope you enjoy the presentation.
Victor, that was fantastic. You hit on all of my favorites: beach, tacos, salsa, right? What more? I think we're done, right? Our work is done here. No, I think
Totally.
this is a great primer for investors. You know, we do have a lot of foreign investors on Republic. We also have a lot of American investors who obviously love traveling to Mexico. We love Cancun, we love Tulum, but learning about Mexico City, that it's such a big city, it's growing so fast. You live there. Tell us what it's like day to day. What's it like? Is it bustling? Is it busy? What's it feel like
Well,
living in Mexico City?
well, Mexico City is a huge city. I mean, if you have ever fly over the city, it's a really, really huge city. And live here sometimes it's difficult, but it's really, really enjoyable. You have a lot of restaurants. You have a lot of mountains all outside of Mexico. I mean, like 40 minutes driving. So basically, we're Mexico City is a valley. So you have a lot of type of vegetation. The weather is really amazing. And in real estate, it's the best and hottest market in, I would say, in Latin America, because it's supported by economics, demographics, and institutional business model to invest with.
And do you find that chart you showed where Mexico City is responsible for so much of the Mexican economy? Is that because a lot of Mexicans are moving to Mexico City from the smaller cities, or is it just growth that's happening organically within the city, or both?
Well, it's a really good question, and I would say that both, because Mexico City is very well connected to all the world, and all the main companies that are located in Mexico City. They have their headquarters located, and their facilities are located in other part of Mexico. So, but well, the money moves, it's in Mexico City.
Exciting. I admit I've never been there, which is very unfortunate, but I plan to go as soon as the pandemic is over. So, Victor, you have your hand in lots of pots. You've done a lot of development projects. How do you decide which projects to take on? Which real estate projects motivate you to do the hard work of getting started? How do you know when you find it?
Perfect. I would say that real estate it's about location, and I would like to add that it's about location, zoning, and business model supported and attached with. Because it's not just to buy a pretty good-looking property or piece of land. It's about to buy a financial business model attached to a property. So you can ensure that the profitability that you need to get, you are going to succeed in that way. Because sometimes you just buy a pretty good looking property, but you don't know about the zoning, and you need to take a look in all these little details that make the difference in real estate.
So, one of the attendees today asked a question: which parts of Mexico City are you most excited about? And this particular question came from somebody who used to live in Roma Condesa. What parts of Mexico City are you most excited about today?
Well, there is some trendy neighborhoods like, of course, Condesa, Roma. There is another part of the city. The name is named Santa Fe that has run for the last 15 years with all the huge corporations that arrived to Mexico City. There is another part of the city that is the San Miguel Chapultepec that is close to Condesa and Roma, and is very well located.
And then same question, but for the Riviera Maya. Obviously, Tulum is something on the tip of everybody's tongue. I've been hearing a lot about Holbox. Are there any other undiscovered parts of Riviera Maya that we should be looking to? What's next?
Perfect. Yeah. I think what is next is Bacalar, which is an amazing lagoon. It's named the Seven Color Lagoon. You have cenotes inside of the lagoon. A cenote is a hollow water kind of a cave. So the nature there is very impressive, and it's really close to Tulum. And in Tulum, for me, is the most beautiful part because you have everything all together. You have you have ruins, you have cenotes, you have beach, and of course you have nightlife style and high-end hotels right now. So Tulum is the hottest market. Actually, I was reading a comparison between Tulum and Dubai in the way of lifestyle, basically.
And you've spent some time working in the US. What are some of the major differences that you can explain between how the Mexican real estate industry works versus the US industry? Are there nuances that make it different, or is it virtually the same?
No, actually, there is a difference. In the USA, I could say that we are used to not to mix the investment part, the real estate, and the construction part. In Mexico, we put all together in a pot, basically, and we mix all together. But sometimes it's not too good. It's not good to have everything mixed because you cannot improve some parts of the construction because everything is mixed. In comparison with the US, everything it's more transparent. I could say so. Basically, what we are doing, we are mixing the US model with the Mexican model in order to give transparency to the potential investors.
And is there anything unique when you build apartments for the Mexican market? Are they configured differently? Do they, I know having worked in Europe, for example, when you build apartments in Germany, they don't come with a kitchen. German tenants install a kitchen. Is there anything unique about the Mexican apartment market that is very different from how the industry works in the US?
Yes, and that comes from the needs of the people that who are going to live. For example, it's very different to build here in some neighborhoods of Mexico City and to build in other neighborhoods, perhaps 10 kilometers far from the, let's say, Roma and Santa Fe, because you have different types of needs. What we are doing right now is that we believe that the properties are more than properties, are a way to succeed in life. So basically, what we are attaching to to our projects is that we are putting co-working spaces, even that is a four-story building. We are giving them a co-working space. We are giving a terrace. We are giving also a lot of internal security cameras, so people could feel very safe in their homes.
That's great. I mean, I think Americans hear a lot about the need for additional security in Mexico. So it's interesting to hear that you're responding to that proactively and providing all of those things to your tenants. That's great. Um, why can we talk a little bit about like returns? I believe in Mexico, returns tend to be higher than they are in the US. So that does provide an interesting opportunity for investors to invest overseas. Are the returns generally higher than domestic American projects?
Yes, are totally higher. Why? Because the supply doesn't satisfy the demand, basically. So what it is, for example, right now in Mexico City, there is 1 million of persons pre-qualified to buy a home, and they don't have where to buy a home, right? Right. So the everything that we build in Mexico City and the Riviera Maya, get sold in the first 50% of the project. So the profitability of the project regarding a measure as the return over equity are like 80% of return. We can say that, and the internal return, the IRR, could be 18 to 25% yearly. So, for example, you invest 100 and you recover yearly your 100 plus $25, right? That is what doesn't mean the IRR of 25%.
And one of the audience members asked a question about doing due diligence on projects overseas. Obviously, it's complicated when you add foreign language, different legal system. How do you do it? And then how would you advise an international investor to think about doing diligence when they're investing or looking to invest in Mexico?
Oh, that is a really good question, because actually what we built is an investment vehicle based in the US that accomplish all the US laws, all the US law taxes. And we try to make it simple for the potential investors. So basically what they do through our investment vehicles is to buy a property in Mexico. So they won't be involved in the risk of construction. We are taking part of the risk of construction in Mexico. So the potential investors they're going to be mixed with the risk of construction. It's very easy model to understand. Basically, they become owners of the property. We operate as a REIT, that is a real estate investment trust. And the business model is very easy. You buy in a pre-sale, you hold the property for 2 years and you put it in a rent, and then you resold the property in 3 years in order to gather the capital gain.
Interesting. And what does an apartment cost in Mexico? Give us a range of, obviously, they're ultra luxury apartments and more affordable apartments, but what does a middle range apartment in Mexico City cost? And give me a similar range in Riviera Maya too.
Sure. I think in Mexico City right now, the average price starts at 72,000 US dollars. So you can get a 750 square meter foot apartment. And in the Riviera Maya, start at, it's a little bit higher. You can find something in $100,000. Perhaps smaller, but that is a good to start. And for just to add, in Mexico City, it's really hard to find an apartment of 72,000 or $100,000. It's very hard to find. What everything gets sold in that area. Everything gets sold in pre-sales. You are just starting the building, and everything basically is sold because there is, for example, 400 square meter foot in Condesa. The cost is around, or Roma, which is a pretty hot market, cost not least at $200,000. So it's a really good deal to buy in this scale.
That's really interesting. I think especially for our audience who, obviously the people who dialed in today are interested in learning about real estate investing, but you can be a real landlord in Mexico City with a much lower dollar amount than you could be in a lot of the major US markets, which I think presents a really interesting and attractive opportunity for people. So Victor, what's next for you? We know you've done a lot of projects already. What are you going to be working on next?
Well, we are looking to work on more projects in Mexico City. We are looking to build uh, like 10 projects more in Mexico City for the next year, and 7 projects more in the Riviera Maya. And we are looking right now for another location that the name is Guadalupe Valley, that is the Mexican Napa Valley. That is growing really fast. We are looking to build projects there also in the near future.
That's exciting. Where is Guadalupe Valle? Is that on the East Coast, the West Coast, the middle of the country?
It's in California side. It's on the other
Okay.
part of the country, and it's just uh, above San Diego.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah,
Well, somebody
it's
from
in
the
the
audience
border.
they asked a good question. When a U.S. investor invests in Mexican real estate, presumably the returns are paid in Mexican pesos. Is that correct?
The return is paid in US dollars, basically.
Okay, so there's no currency risk. So you take
No.
a US dollar investment, you deploy the US dollars, and then you repay US dollars also?
Exactly, yes. The deployment is in US dollars and the returns is in US dollars. Everything that is we have learned that keep it simple. So it's basically own a property and return in US dollars, and the investment is through our US investment fund.
Somebody from the audience echoes your sentiment and says that Guadalupe Valle is beautiful. So obviously
Yes, it is.
we have a very tuned in audience today who knows all of these hot up and coming areas. A bunch of people on the chat have asked for your contact information, so we'll circle up after to see if we can share that. We do have to work within securities rules, and everything we do is very compliant. So we'll make sure that we do share the appropriate level of information with the attendees today. Well, Victor, I think this was great. Any final words that you have for the audience that you'd like to share? And any other
Well,
final questions that anybody has that they didn't have a chance to ask? Going once, going twice?
thank you
Okay,
very much. I would like to invite everybody to Mexico when everything this happens, and have a enjoyable stance here in Mexico or Riviera Maya
great.
or Guadalupe
I
Valley.
volunteer. I'll go first. So I'll see you soon. Great.
Perfect.
Thank you so
Thank you
much,
very
Victor.
much for the space. I
Thank
appreciate
you.
it.
Okay.
Thank
Bye-bye.
everyone. Bye.
Bye-bye.